welcome back for another Wellbeing Wednesday. Just a reminder for those of you who have not come before, and also to welcome all of you back who have been to and seen one of these before. We are here for Wellbeing Wednesday, and this is the monthly segment that shows child care providers and caregivers like you simple ways to support your own well-being, because taking care of ourselves is in fact taking care of others. So whether you're an early childhood educator, a director, a parent, or someone who just feels like a parent most of the time, you're sure to pick up some helpful tidbits and actionable advice from today's live that will help support your own well-being and get you back to feeling like yourself. So I'm your host. I am a well-being coach with the Be Well, Care Well Arkansas program, a Curricula concepts program that's all about supporting the well-being of our child care providers. So today we are starting July off with focus on hydration and skincare, because we're getting into the height of summer months, and so that's when it's going to get the most hot, especially in Arkansas. We're going to have some humidity going on, so we might need to adjust some of our practices to make sure that our health and our skincare are really going to be kind of at their peak performance. So, and we are very, very lucky that our guest here today is the perfect one to talk to about that. We actually even have matching, well, similar motivational water bottles, which is awesome. So this is Cassandra. She is a certified yoga teacher and also a licensed, correct me on how to say this, esthetician?
Yes.
Yes. Score one.
Yes.
And we're actually here today in her yoga studio, which is also a day spa. So
Yes.
I want to kick it over to you if you have anything else you want to add about your introduction or anything that you think you want them to know real quick.
No, I think that you hit definitely with the point of hydration in the summer months. And even though it's hot and humid, you're sweating all of your hydration out, so the skin gets drier even though it is still humid outside. So, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that hydration. So I think you guys have these water bottles that you have.
Yes. For
Be
those of
well.
you, always a technology thing going on with us here. So, all righty. But yes, if you can't see it, Be Well, Care Well people, we have these water bottles that have motivational things as well. And she's got one that trumps me for sure. So she's definitely on her hydration game.
I will say with yours, it's a lot easier to carry. So I want to get a gallon in every day, maybe even a gallon plus. And so it's a motivation to drink it, because when you lug this around, you have to be like taking drinks, because it's not very easy to maneuver. But with something like what she has here, still has a wonderful motivational things on the side, like think healthy, and at the very end you did it.
Mm-hmm.
But all you have to do with that is just refill it. So and then, bing, sorry, there was like a little bing. And we also have this great like water chart.
Yeah, so this is actually, it's probably hard to see on the screen, but for those programs and participants who are in our Be Well, Care Well program, we specifically have a July water challenge going on. So for them, they get this specific one, and I'll bring it up closer to the screen. So basically, each of the water bottles that they get through Be Well, Care Well, which is this one here, which is 32 ounces total. So if they drink 2 of these per day, then they get a half gallon or 64 ounces. So that's why on here they have water bottles, because they can measure it that way. Now our challenge is we wanted to start real small. So we started with half a gallon, but working towards this full gallon is big. And we might have something like this gallon if you're an excellent water drinker for our Summer Sun gift baskets, which actually at the end of the challenge this month, they'll be entered into a drawing, and 3 people will be getting some Summer Sun gift baskets.
Nice.
So related to skincare, hydration, all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
So that's what they have with Be Well, Care Well. But even if you're not in Be Well, Care Well, or say you're watching this as a parent, feel free. I'll put my email address below in the comments, probably towards the end. And you can email me, and we have another one that just has like 8 little droplets, and each droplet represents 8 ounces. So you're still working towards the 64 total ounces. It's just, if you don't have the Be Well Care Well water bottle, you can still participate. So I know our entire Curricula Concepts team, who are mostly watching this right now, I think. I know one of our fam is, she's on vacation, so I hope she's enjoying, but the rest are watching, and we're all doing this with you. So feel free to join us on
And
the water
I
challenge.
love what you said about starting small. I did not get to a full gallon overnight. That took a lot of small steps. Like I did actually start with something small and moved into getting at least 2 of those a day.
Speaking of which, I need to,
Yeah.
I'm behind on mine, 11 a.m. It says almost there, and I'm supposed to be here by 12.
Yeah.
And I think I'm behind on that, so I'm gonna.
I
drink.
will say, if you're someone that gets up during the night a lot, you need to cut your water consumption, probably at least 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. Is always a good rule of thumb. If you're someone that gets up in the middle of the night a lot, like myself. So
I did not know that. So
Yeah.
that's a very special magic number that
Yeah.
I've not heard before, because I definitely do that. But I'm
Yeah.
also like, I need to drink more water, but 2 to 3 hours before I go to bed.
yeah,
That I think I can
just
do.
have the big bulk of it done. Like you have a few sips here and there, that's fine. But to be chugging or something like that 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed is not a good idea. You know, you could probably have still a good, 8 to 12 ounces before you go to bed. But if you're someone that gets up in the middle of the night, like myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me more about these gift baskets that you've got for them.
Yep. So they're gonna have a couple of things, especially based on what we're gonna be talking about.
But this, okay, I got
Mhm.
you.
So this is this. We also have a nice little goodie. I'll let Cassandra tell you a bit more about that. So actually, you know what? Why don't you jump into what
Okay,
that is real
great.
quick?
So hydration is number one besides stress. Stress is actually the number one factor for aging skin, but hydration can do wonders for keeping the skin in its elasticity. When you dry your skin out, it gets crepier. It doesn't have that plumpness to it. So hydration is extremely key. And so what I've put together is some great little skin care samples for a little spa night. So you have a cleanser, an exfoliator, a mask, a serum, and a nice, wonderful hydration moisturizer. So, and there's put some other little goodies in there too. I wanted to share some of the stuff that we do here, that we do have yoga classes, but we also have a spa. So we are all about well-being, and I love that you have a well-being Wednesday challenge, or every month, that it's every week, correct?
So the Be Well Care Well program
Is every Wednesday.
That's all year round.
Okay.
Actually, Wellbeing Wednesday, we do give little tidbits and information based on the theme every Wednesday, but we do
Gotcha.
our lives on the
Every
beginning.
Wednesday,
I
or the
believe-
beginning of the month. Okay.
Beginning of
Yeah.
each month, we kind of do a kickoff.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
because I'm not that technologically savvy yet, obviously, as we could see at the beginning, that I can make sure that I get it every Wednesday, but we do it to kick off each month. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I'm excited for all the people that are going to join me on the challenge, just to see how you feel. You should be able to start sleeping better. And overall, you won't be as fatigued. You will not realize until you really start drinking water that you'll realize how not fatigued you are from drinking more water. And what's interesting, when I first started upping my water game, I felt thirstier. So don't be alarmed if you start getting up there close to that 64 ounces, that you're like, oh, I feel like I'm parched all the time. It's because your body has finally gotten enough water that it's kicked into like, okay, we're not dehydrating more. What is this? And it kind of goes into this like almost fight or flight mode, where you're like, I feel like I'm so parched, but I've been drinking all this water. It will pass. That will pass into, you won't have that. But
Interesting. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, because if you're supplementing besides water, you're drinking like coffee, which is water, but it's still dehydrating. And so you're still dehydrating the body. So, and if you're not a water person, I'd show you some little tricks. There's little fizzies that you can get to put in your water. I actually, with mine today, I just cut up a lemon. Then I took some stevia, and just put a little stevia in there. So it's like a very inexpensive lemonade.
That's true. And I have to say, that's actually one of my favorite things. So last month, our challenge, we had a vitamin N for nature challenge. And we do have a winner for that, by the way. I will announce that later. So it's all about getting outside. And our last Wellbeing Wednesday talked about, how to start a little garden of your own. And one of the things, I kind of showed my plant successes and some of my plant failures. If you saw that one, you probably remember that. But one of the successes that we have actually was a mint plant. And now I love to cut up like lemon. I always would put that in my water. It just gives it a little something extra, especially if I'm having to drink more than I normally do. But also like putting mint from my little plants, which mint is really hardy. If you're like, I kill things, but I want an herb garden, start with mint.
You can't kill mint. I've tried to kill mine in my garden every year and it keeps coming back.
Yep, exactly. It's exactly right. So those are some really great tips. Also, there's in addition to that, there's these things. It's a brand called True, so True. It's should be by like the Crystal Light and whatnot.
Yeah, they just are.
And those ones are much more natural as opposed to like the Crystal Light ones. So if you're, not trying to add a ton of calories, but you're like, I'm sick of water, especially halfway through the challenge, that's a really great option too. If you feel like, I don't know if lemon's going to cut it kind of thing.
I'm just bored.
Yeah.
Float some strawberries in there or some cucumber. You can make cucumber water, strawberry water. You can throw some watermelon chunks in there. You can put all sorts of different fruits and things and frozen. I've been known to put frozen in there too.
I haven't done that yet. You're telling me all these good things. That is awesome. I'm so gonna now I have a reason to get frozen strawberries. Yeah, it's doubles as ice cubes, especially in the summer. You want it to be cold because it's gonna get really hot. So it's interesting because people talk about like coffee baristas and like mixologists for cocktails and stuff like that. But think about all the cool things that you could kind of come up with for water. So it's ways to save money, but also increase your water, which also increases the health of your skin. And and Jamie also commented, mint is a great idea as well. There's also a lot of medicinal properties for mint. It's especially good if you're feeling overheated and also kind of calming an upset stomach. And I'm sure that there's more that I can't think of off the top of my head, but they're very good. It's a very good cooling herb. So
I will say that also with water drinking, like the larger amount that I drink, I make tea with it. So if I have a light green tea or white tea, I'll make it with it. I make my smoothies with it. So I pull from that 1 gallon. So I'm pouring that into other things. If I make oatmeal, I'm using the water out of my gallon. That way I'm still getting that in different all sorts of ways.
Now that's a trick because then that's how you can measure how much water you're actually taking, even through.
You don't have to always think about just this. You can put it into a smoothie, which is still drinking something, but you're getting a lot more vitamins and minerals, food supplement. So
that is awesome. Yeah, so definitely if you don't already have a water bottle like this, you can find them varying prices. Or even just a regular, Dasani water bottle or, Kroger brand. But pour from that. And that's how you know how much water you've been drinking. Because on the label or somewhere, I know on both of our water bottles, it actually says, how many ounces are typically in it. So then you can kind of get a better idea. And especially if you're trying to track on the water challenge, it helps you know, okay, where am I at with all of that? Deborah loves the frozen fruit tip. I know, right? And real quick, also for those of you who are on the live, please put your first and last name in the comments, or at least your Facebook name, so that we can enter that in for our little random drawing at the end. And you might be able to get one of these, get our little gift bag, which also was totally Cassandra's idea, and I love it. And thank you so much for thinking of our parents and our caregivers.
We have a spa night.
Yes. Ooh, who doesn't love a spa?
Yeah,
I definitely do.
Another thing about what you were mentioning before about a water bottle, it doesn't have to even be a specific water bottle. Before I got this big thing here, I was carrying around like the water they sell at Kroger that is some pH water that they had, and I was carrying it around. It looks like a milk jug, and so I carried that around for months. and worked on that. So don't think you have to have anything special, because sometimes we trick ourselves up like, well, I'm not going to start that because I don't have the right thing. No, you can just, you got a cup at home, I'm sure everyone's got a measuring cup. You can take a favorite thermos or whatever you have at home already and measure out to make sure what you have in there. And then you just do the math. So
awesome. I love it. And also I apologize to both you all and Cassandra. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm trying to keep track of the comments. The computer to get both of us in and, all professional looking is a little bit further away, so I can't see the comments here. But I know one of the things that I wanted to check is throughout today's live, if you have questions or comments or anything like that, please put them down below in the comments. We would love to, answer those and make sure that we're addressing any of your summer skincare or hydration needs and questions. And also just to put your first and last name in the comments so we know who we can give our little gift basket to. But yeah, sorry, I'm rudely interrupted there. What other summer skincare and or hydration tips might you have for us today?
Even if you're oily, it is good not to completely make the skin bone dry. So if you're an oily person, I grew up oily, I had really bad acne growing up. And what I thought was the best thing was to scrub the face until it was squeaky clean and tight. I wanted that tight feeling. Well, what was happening was when you do that to your skin, your oil glands have to produce more oil to create the perfect pH balance. And so by overstripping the skin, I was producing more oil, which gave me more acne. Even for someone that's oily, you definitely want to cleanse the face, but you want to put something on top that will still give you that moisture so the oil does not overproduce, especially in the humid, in the summer. If you're someone that's more dry, I would say, we all need to drink the water. So definitely for someone that's more dry, want to have definitely your water game on point. And people that are in different seasonal changes, like for me, I'm moving into more drier. So I'm noticing that I am using more oils on my skin, even though when I was growing up, I'd never even think about that, like that was just, I already have enough oil. And so oil, right? And so we're up in the South, and you have oily skin in the summer. It's never a fun thing, but you still need to put some hydration on there. And for dry folks, humid summer air feels great for your skin, but you will still need to put that extra layer of moisture on as well. And then everyone should be drinking their water, hands down. So that, as far as tips for that, the summer will pull that moisture out of you. So it's definitely, a good thing. And we forget to drink, especially like if I'm in my regular routine, I can stay on point with water. But like this past weekend, we were at the lake and out in the sun, and water's not necessarily the first thing you reach for when you're at the lake. So then you're like, oh, I can feel when I got back Monday, like how my skin had started to feel a little more dry. So
yeah, and I have to say for the oil part, because I had like adult onset acne. So in high school, I was like, haha, I'm good, because I didn't have acne then. And then it hit me later. Now with adult, it's harder because it doesn't quite have that same end date as when you get it in like pubescent times. Right. So I was like, what is wrong? My skin was usually dry, but then it got acne and oily, and it was really weird. And actually only about maybe 6 months ago, somebody said, just use a very gentle face wash. Cause of course I was on a lot of acne things, and this was for me personally. And they said, just use a gentle face wash and then put some light oil on. And I was like, there's no way. Like it's just going to make it worse. Oh my gosh, my skin has never looked better. Like I just, I go to Trader Joe's because apparently coconut oil is not good for my face. So I was like, I don't know what to do. But I had a container of argan oil. It's like $6 compared to, a lot of some of the skincare stuff. But I was able to get that, and I started putting it on, and that was fabulous. Like my people were saying, oh, your skin looks so good. And I was like, I just haven't worn makeup in like a year. And they're like, no, but like you look really good. And I just would never have thought about that, because we always think we got to pat dry, we got to take off. And sometimes actually it's more putting in, which
I'll give you a recipe for everyone. Ooh. Whether you're dry, whether you're oily, it's 80% putting moisture, 20% bulldozing. A lot of people do 80% bulldozing and just scrub the skin too, but no, there has to be a perfect balance. And then also has to deal with oil versus drier skin and normal. So there's also that too, like, you know, it's all personal to the person. So that's where being an esthetician comes in, because you actually can look at someone's skin and do a analysis and help them figure out what's the best regimen for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, you know, tell us a little bit more about like maybe the difference between working with an esthetician versus, I don't know, for me, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to Walgreens and just pick up stuff. And I think I'm dry and whatnot, you know, and because I'm sure that there's a big difference between kind of doing that and working with an esthetician. And then also for those who maybe aren't yet in a place where they can, you know, do that one-on-one with an esthetician, what are some additional options that they could do?
If you're a social media fan, follow people that have proven, you know, that they know what they're talking about through videos or, you know, post pictures before and afters. And then trust your intuition. That's one of the key things. Like if you know that you've been like for a full month doing one thing and you're not seeing the results, then there's something that needs to be tweaked in that. It takes the skin we'll just put the number 30. A full 30 days for you to actually see a result of product. If you have a reaction where something broke out really fast, like rash, something red or inflamed skin, there's probably definitely sensitivity to that. But the thing with that is I would suggest staying more in the neutral and natural and even sometimes organic states of skincare products versus using something that has been known to be used as a defloor greaser, you know, to degrease a floor basically. There's lots of products out there that from basically having the money to push the product and it's easy accessible for everyone, it might not necessarily be the best thing. It doesn't mean you have to go out and buy expensive skincare products. I did these happy hour facial times when COVID had hit and we got shut down, so I got creative in my kitchen. I used to be a bartender, so I would make a cocktail.
We see how the water came about.
Yeah.
Some crossover.
So I would make a drink, and the ingredients I used in there were things you'd find in your kitchen. So if you want to use lemon, you can, you know, use lemon on your skin. So there's ways of you to not have to explore something that's over the budget for anyone as far as it comes to skincare. But I will say, the more natural you can get to that place, even with like food, the better. So
yeah, and that was definitely one of those things too when I was talking about like my own acne journey. I mean, there was a lot of just kind of cleaning up my diet in a little bit, and that's, for me, it was a lot of watching the greasy foods, making sure that I'm having enough greens, just kind of adding those things in. It wasn't like, oh, I have to go on all keto all the time, you know, so it's kind of a combination of those things. And I definitely love like the DIY ideas of like, what can you do in your kitchen, especially in the meantime? And, you know, maybe there's one particular product where you find this is a really important one, and that's the one that you budget
for. Absolutely.
You know? And then the rest, it's like, okay, let me explore and do that. Like for me, the argan oil that I use, again, I didn't get like the fancy skincare oil. I know I could, and maybe that is better, but I know for me, like right now and where my budget is, like that works for me. Yeah. And that one's pretty natural. Like there's no additional additives. Meanwhile, the other stuff that I was using was so much of the harsher chemicals. It was a lot more of the topical things, which again works for some people, and that's great. And obviously follow doctors' instructions and doctor's advice. Absolutely. This is only my story and my experience that I'm sharing. So what works for me may not work for your skin like type, and that's totally okay. So real quick, I also do want to check. Oh wow,
that's one.
Also, I'm so there we go. Whenever I look at the time, it unmutes the video here. So if you're hearing a feedback, that's what it is. But are there any last questions that we have for Miss Cassandra before we have to pop off? So if you have any, I have this skincare thing going on, or I've tried this, what works? I know that Christine was mentioning, think probably the hydration, maybe you're similar to me and having that acne prone. And she said hydration and lock in with oil for sure. So let me see. Don't think we have any additional comments so far. No questions. Guess that means you did a really great job. There we go. So if you had to give 2 to 3 takeaways that people will take from this live for their hydration skincare this summer, what would those 3 things be?
Just drink your water. I think we've made that abundantly clear today, and know that just step back and observe how you feel from that water up game. If you're up in the game, notice how you feel, how you're sleeping, how maybe you're not reaching for the big coffee pot in the morning, like you're feeling, I feel a little bit more perky and more energized. As it comes to skin and the overall health of the skin, think about what are we putting on it. Would you actually want to take a spoonful and eat it? So that's a good way of thinking, because once you put it on your skin, it's going in there anyway. It's going in the bloodstream. And then let's do this challenge, like I'm totally with you guys. So
yes, we got another challenge. I feel like if I could work it right, I would have played like Rocky, Eye of the Tiger, to get us all just like amped. So awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all out there. So
yeah, I know it's interesting when it's like, oh, there's not people, there's people, but there's no live studio audience. Right. But oh, that's awesome. We've got a couple comments though. Thank you for hydration and skincare tips. Thanks, Jamie. Deborah says these were great. Christine said, my skin is better at 53 than any other time in my life. Good info out there. Thank you. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you all for being here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give it till the end of the day today, and we'll see who watches and comments on the video. And from there, then we are going to pick our winner for our lovely prize that we will send to you. So feel free to be watching your Facebook messengers and your notifications, because I will be reaching out to you if you are the lucky winner. I'll probably do that tomorrow morning or later this afternoon. So be on the lookout. But thank you again, Cassandra, for being here. As always, it's awesome to get to work with you. So she and I work together as well as some other things. And actually, I don't know if you want to make an announcement about any.
Not yet.
Okay. I will let you know when we have an announcement to make. So that'll be another well-being thing that you all can take part in if you want. But as always, make sure to follow Curricula Concepts on Facebook and Instagram. And also, I believe in the post for today, you can also follow Cassandra on Facebook and Instagram, as well as go on her website, see what yoga classes there are, learn more about her story as well. It's a really beautiful one. And make sure to share this video, comment, like, and if you do comment or other people comment, we will be sure to answer any of those questions. If you are a childcare provider or director and you're interested in bringing Be Well, Care Well to support your staff's well-being, please feel free to comment down below, and I will make sure to reach out to you. And I will also put my email address in the comments, so you can also email me directly. So this has been another Wellbeing Wednesday. I'm going to attempt to close the live. We'll see how that goes. But thank you all for coming here and being here. I hope you got something from it. I know I definitely did. And I'm going to, when I put stuff on my skin, I'm now going to ask myself, would I eat it? Yeah. So thank you again, and we'll see you next time.